Hey guys, my name is Marta, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Nora Ephron's Heartburn, which recently celebrated its 50th anniversary, and this edition being a special edition that was released in celebration of that. Heartburn is a novel in which we follow our main character and narrator, who is a writer of cooking books and who while pregnant of her second child finds out that her husband has been having an affair with someone she knows. Our main character, after finding out about this, decides to flee the house and establishes herself at her father's. From there, our main character will write what we are currently reading, this novel in which she talks about her relationship with her husband and how she faced this affair he was having, and at the same time, of course, includes some delicious cooking recipes for her fellow readers to learn. This is a very short, very fun novel from which I really appreciated the writing style and the humor in it. Nora Ephron is a very funny writer. She really knows how to deal with hard topics such as cheating, and especially cheating inside a marriage, with lots of humor, and she really knows how to play with tropes and not really reverse them but treat them in a very humorous way. For instance, in this novel, our main character and narrator is constantly talking about her current position and the way she should act according to what a woman is expected to act as, and the way she is facing it. It's a book that is also really funny because of the way it's told. The book is constantly going back in time to explain some characters' backstory and their relationship with the main character and narrator, and to explain certain situations that are currently happening. It's a book that is also very witty, besides being humorous. It's a book that, of course, depicts some unrealistic, almost surreal situations that are ridiculous yet extremely funny, and that make this book a delight to read. This is a book that, despite its humor and all of these more lighter topics, actually discusses some serious ones such as women and being a woman in this time period where they were supposed to be okay with their relationships even if their husbands were cheating on them. It's a book that actually talks about a thing that is supposed to be very female oriented traditionally, which is cooking, but uses it not as a trope to stereotype the woman but as a way to make her stronger, which is something that I really appreciated in the novel. Since in this book the kitchen is not a place where the woman is subjected to a masculine power, but a place where she can find herself and find the comfort she is currently lacking in her life. It's a book that talks about people and relationships between people. It's a book that makes a great societal portrait of this time period, and it's a book that confronts topics with this touch of humor that makes them very easy and very fun to read. This book is also great because of its recipes. As I have said, the book has this metafictional tone in which we know from the very beginning that the book the narrator is writing is the book we are reading, and he is not only constantly making references to her own work as we read it, but we are also able to read some delicious recipes that, if I were not vegan, I will for sure try in real life, because I am sure they are delicious. Alongside that metafictional aspect of the novel, the book is also a meditation on writing as a way of coping. In fact, there is a quote that is repeated throughout the story, but that is not answered until the end, in which our main character is asked by one of her friends, why do you feel like you have to turn everything into a story? A question to which she gives the most cliché yet truthful answer to, which is that because if I tell the story, I control the version, because if I tell the story, I can make you laugh, and I would rather have you laugh at me than feel sorry for me. Because if I tell the story, it doesn't hurt as much, because if I tell the story, I can get on with it. So as you can see, this is a book that also meditates about writing as a coping mechanism, as I just said, and also as a way for women to have a voice. Because as I just read, for our main character, writing this story is not only a way for her to cope, but it's also a way for her to be listened to be heard, and to have a voice in this situation. However, all these positive notes I am making about the book do have their negative side. That negative side being the ending. I have to admit that I was quite disappointed with how the story ended. I am not going to say why because of spoilers, but if you have read the book, or if you read it after watching this video, you will most likely see why I am saying that I was a tiny bit disappointed with the way Nora Ephron chose to write this story. However, that does not mean that I did not love it. As I have said multiple times in this video, I adore the novel, I gave it 5 stars, and I could perfectly see it in my top reads of 2023. This is a novel that has everything I like to find in novels when I am feeling like I can read something very heavy, because there are a lot of things going on in my life that have to do with university. It was funny, it was quite short, it had a narrator it was easy to empathize with, and it had a story that was very female-centered and that managed to play with the stereotypes and images that were typical of the time period the book was written in, and still make them look and read very, very fresh. This is a book that, as I have said, also features some surreal elements that only make the book more funny, even though they are absolutely ridiculous and sometimes pretty cliché. For instance, there is this scene in which our main character is in a place that gets robbed, and she falls in love with the robber at first sight. Similarly to that, and in a similar line, the book was also a highlight for me for its humor, and how that humor is at some moments pretty relatable because of how ridiculous it is. In the same lines as the robbery that I have just mentioned, there is a moment where our main character gets interrogated by the police, and her first thought is, I was really excited this happened to me, because I've always wanted to be interrogated and be able to say all these phrases like I swear it and all of things that we are used to seeing in movies. Because to be honest, that is relatable. Who wouldn't like to be interrogated in the same way people are in movies? But always bearing in mind that you are not the victim of the case. I think that's all I have to say about Heartburn. As I just said, it's a book that I really like, it's a book that I would very much recommend, and it's a book that has made me even more excited to read more from Nora Ephron, because she's an author I've always wanted to read from, but I didn't know where to start. And as soon as I saw that this gorgeous edition was being released for the 50th anniversary, I decided that this was my sign to begin with this novel. So yeah, if you like books that will make you laugh, if you like stories centered about women and female topics, and even more, if you like cooking and food, I am sure you will enjoy Heartburn. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you read this book and what were your thoughts down below. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I hope your day is amazing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!